Hi all. She's finally on the floor. And it's easier, I think, to see now how far the engine can push further forward. Now it's outside for once. And there you go. So, floor on from underneath. We've got Fuel Safe in the USA doing us up a quote at the moment for a reinforced bladder tank. It's going to be about 100 litres or roughly thereabouts, so it's going to be a 20 gallon plus fuel cell, which is good. I dare say this engine probably does a fair few miles to gallon. Well, 20-25 maybe, so it should be pretty good for a reasonably long distance. But yeah, you get an appreciation of now the heights, the bars that are put in instead of the shock absorbers. Made the rears adjustable a little bit. We altered the specs of the rear shocks pretty late on before we got them in production, so I altered the bar length. Here's the rear cup to keep the shock length as max as possible. I was going to come off here with the ears and attach the shock absorber, kind of similar to how it's done at the front here, kind of thing, with just a piece of 3mm. And in the end, I wanted to keep the shocks as long as possible. And we put the shock actually inside here and turned two bushes, offset them, obviously because the head of the shock would have been too big for a 38mm tube. Cut out, welded the bushes either side, jobs are good, and second hole there is just for lightning. So basically now waiting on the rear shocks to be made. We're also waiting on the front steering rack. This is a very unprofessional steering rack at the moment. It's just a piece of tubes, hold the two wheels together. Titan's making the rack for us. We finalised the quote and paid them yesterday, so 4 to 6 weeks to get the rack made. Once the rack's here, then I can finalise the mounting brackets. It'll basically, the rack will bolt to here. I'll weld through a tube into the chassis itself, and then we'll mount the rack from those two top plates there. I had to use extenders on the rack. The rack itself, the physical aluminium casting they've got isn't long enough for what we need to mount there, but they do extender pieces, and that's kind of what they've quoted. So basically they get a casting and they get two extender pieces and weld them on, so but better them do it than me have to do it. So so steering can't really be finalised, final position for the electric steering column and brackets and stuff. I don't want to do anything until I have the rack in, so kind of waiting for that. But I've got plenty of work to do on the body now. Chassis and structure is pretty much there. The front cross structure which bolts to the bulkhead, I've got to put four threaded points for that to bolt onto, so I can start doing that now and getting the bodywork starting to make it actually solidly make the attaching points for the chassis, and there are actually some frames that come off of here and extend out to fix the bodywork too, so I'm going to make them out of aluminium. Basically they're just an external as well, I suppose they're just a cross structure. Obviously the radiators are going in the side as well, so they become a bit of a side impact protection cross structure as well. So making all of that out of aluminium, realistically doesn't need to be any, there's no rigidity gained in structure, so we're going to just build that out of alley. The originals would have done, but then again the original chassis was aluminium as well, so yes. Just finally nice to see it on the floor. As far as costs are concerned, this is where it's going to start to get expensive. Shock absorbers, steering rack, fuel tank. You know, we're looking at 5-figure sum there just for those three. Together, obviously, not on their own. Remanufacture the exhaust. The pipes here are not high enough; they need to come up, because they're going to interfere with the diffuser. And the standard cars, they come pretty wrapped up and then come over to what originally would have been a turbo. But we're not going to turbocharge this for the moment. Yeah, we need to do that. I kind of like to keep the side exhaust, but it's looking like we may end up going with a rear exhaust. So we got plenty of room. There's plenty of room to thread the exhaust between the two sets of wishbones here, so we can come through that way. Just sitting it basically on top of the diffuser. Obviously we've got no rear steer and stuff, so it's quite simple to put a tube straight across there, and then we'll just make sure we got plenty of heat reflective stuff so the suspension doesn't get too warm. But yeah, so she's on the floor for the first time. Actually, those rear tyres now don't look so wide, do they? Look quite kind of skinny almost. I suppose it's the diameter of them that gives them the width, not quite so much. But yeah, that's thinking overall. That's a better view. There you go. Anyway, just enjoying it myself. Actually, I've only just pushed it outside. So anyway, speak to you all soon.